Welcome to Harrison Hats.
Hey guys, welcome back to Harrison Hacks. Today I am releasing the main vintage collection pack for the Sony PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 is an amazing console and there are a lot of games, so it's going to be a massive pack once it's completed. But what I wanted to do now was give you guys all of the artwork and the configuration files ready to rock and roll for when I release the ROM packs. So we're going to get into it, we're going to install it, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the ROM packs are going to work. It's a little different from the previous releases, but that's just due to the size of this pack and why it's going to be broken down into multiple packs. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the link in the description, and it's going to take you to download a text file, the Vintage Collection PS2 main pack link.txt. Go ahead and open that up and highlight everything inside like so. Right click, copy, and paste that into your web browser. Once you paste it into your web browser, it's going to allow you to download the Vintage Collection PS2 main pack.7-zip. It's 32.9 megabytes. It's very small. And then we're going to right click on there, and with WinRAR extract here, or with 7-zip extract here. And once it's extracted, you're going to have a vintage collection folder. So what we're going to want to do is take that vintage collection folder, right click, and you can cut or copy. So I'm going to just do a copy, and we're going to go to the root of our H drive, and we're going to paste it right in the root of H. So paste. So hopefully it doesn't take too long. The one thing that makes it take a little while sometimes is because there's so many of the cheat files. So I've included cheats with the PC SX2 emulator, and I wanted to show you guys that I was copying this and doing that, um, so that yeah, you're watching me copy it over, but I can explain a few things to you while it's copying. So one thing I want to explain is the packs are massive. So I am doing them letter by letter, each pack. It will be the complete North American PlayStation 2 ROM set, the redump ROM set. The links were taken down from archive.org, but I managed to find a workaround and I got them. And I'm very happy that I got them for everybody. And the way that this is going to go, as I mentioned, is letter by letter. So the first release of the pack that I have completed, now it's going to take some time to upload and make sure that everything's 100%, but is just any game that starts with a number or the letter A. And that there is 150 gigabytes just for that, just for those two things. And that's under 100 games. It's pretty crazy. Some games are larger than others. I mean, some are over 6 gigabytes, and some are within the megabytes. So you can kind of get an idea of why it's not all 4.7 gigs per game. That's not how it works. So basically, and I'm going to show you guys really quick. I'll get more into it with the first pack release. Um, but let's talk about that in a few moments. So now that we have that copied over, everything's good to go. We're going to go back into where we've extracted this, and we have another text file that says add to attract cfg file.txt. So we're going to open up that. We're going to highlight everything just like so. Right click, copy, and we close that out. We close this, and we'll go into our vintage collection folder. We're going to go into the attract folder, and we're going to open up that attract.cfg. So we're going to open it with Notepad++. So right click, edit with Notepad++. Now, I like to put mine right after PlayStation 1, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Here is Sony PlayStation. So at the bottom of Sony PlayStation, I've got favorite equals 1. I'm going to put my cursor there, press enter again, and then I'm going to press left, so I'm right there, and press Control V. That will paste it, and it should look just like that. I'll go ahead and click save. I'll close it, and let's launch attract mode. So now we're going to launch up Vintage Collection. And I will go up to Sony PlayStation 2. There it is. We should all have this. So you can see, because I'm recording, the video is stuttering, but you shouldn't have that issue. And it's empty. It is empty, and that's because there's no ROMs released yet. But we are up and running. So I'm going to close that out and just show you guys really quickly. Collection packs, Sony PlayStation 2. There are a total of, I believe, 1,865. So number and A are missing. They're in their own pack already. And each pack is going to have each game, a temp file, because these are in .gz format. So these save the most amount of hard drive space. It's just an ISO inside. And I go through each and every title and launch it once, and it creates this temp file for PCSX2, because some games take longer than others to boot. Sometimes you've got a 30 to a 60-second wait, but when you have these temp files, they load instantly. And so that's why I'm doing it, so that you guys don't have to go through and do this later, and you launch a game and you're like, man, I'm tired of waiting the 60 seconds. So now you don't have to. The first launch always takes a while, so I'll do it, and then when you guys get this with these temp files included, it'll launch automatically. You won't even notice. As long as you have those temp files, you're good to go. And you know, I'm working on B right now, so once the letter B is released, you'll have all the box art for B, cart art for B, snap art for B, wheel art for B, the game's temp files, and also the ROM list will be updated. The ROM list will be updated all the way through down till Z, and once we've got all games released for you guys in all the packs, I'm going to just release the finalized ROM list. It's going to be exactly the same as the one when we get to Z, but I'm going to make sure that I release it on its own. That way everything's in order for anyone who doesn't want all of the packs or things like that. But when we go back, we'll look at the PS2 number through A. So it is, and I'm just going to highlight all of the zip files here, and there are a lot. 221 files, properties, 150 gigabytes. That's zipped. So basically all the packs consist of now, when they're released, is there's all your temp files, there's all your game files, and there is all the matching artwork. So the main base was released with A number and A already done. I put everything in order, made sure all of it's good to go. So the main base will already cover the first pack. That's why there's no updated ROM list in this pack. But starting from B and through on out, we will be updating our ROM list from there. So when we check this out, we'll go to Vintage Collection, and we're going to go to Attract, Menu Art, Snap, and I'm going to show you Sony PlayStation 2. And I just want to go a little bit into detail for this. I know that I haven't been making as many videos lately, and I will start again. It's just I've been working hard at a lot of different stuff in behind the scenes. So we're looking at 30 frames a second, and this should be no problem running on your system. It runs perfectly for me, but when I'm recording, it seems to skip a little bit. I could cut it down to 720 if I wanted to and do it that way. but I think that I like it the way that it is. If you do have an issue with it skipping on your system for any reason, anyone with lower end systems, this may happen. Feel free to let me know. I'll cut it down to 720. I can upload it by itself, and it's just going to be a small file, and then you can go ahead and grab it, and hopefully that fixes your issue. But for now, I'm leaving it at 1080/30. Um, well, it's not exactly 1080, but it's higher than 720. So that's pretty much it. That is the Vintage Collection PlayStation 2 main pack. That's going to have everything ready for you to be rock and roll once we get the ROM packs released. So I've got to get those uploaded. It's going to take some time, and I'm currently on the letter B, and I've got a long way to go, obviously. And I've got a few other things that are going to be released along the way. I've got some pickup videos and things like that. So stay tuned. My patrons know this is coming out. I released an update a couple of days ago there. And if you're not already a patron, please consider supporting my channel. You get early access to a lot of things. You're going to get patron-only builds, and also some how-tos and things like that. And I try to do as much, I guess you would call it somewhat of a customer service, even though you guys aren't customers, but and try and give as much advice as I can on there. More so than YouTube. It's just hard for me to keep up with all of the comments on YouTube. What's nice is my Patreon is a little smaller, and I can kind of take care of that group, and I really appreciate everyone's support. So I just want to say thank you to anyone who already is a patron. Um, and please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, have a good day.